Mr. 2020 and the golden one dropping wrestling talk. Wrestling adventure storytelling, no fake news here. Yo.
All right, welcome to the Jamie and Mike's Wrestling Adventures. Got a little rap jingle carrying us in this week. Can you hear me, buddy?
Yeah, I can. How are you today?
I am great. I know, Thanksgiving was yesterday, and just had a good day off from worrying about anything at all, and didn't even think about anything, but enjoying the day with my wife, and that was it. So good time. Had a good meal. Had a little bit of wine and just relaxed. And it got a little colder here in the foreign country, Mike. Last night it was cooling off, so you could sit on the patio. And then this morning we were in probably the low 40s was what we woke up to. So here around Lutz and Tampa.
Okay. I know, because I saw the pictures, you did not eat turkey for Thanksgiving.
I did not eat turkey.
So what did you get for Thanksgiving?
Well, we went to Ruth Chris Steakhouse, and I ate a 16-ounce, a pound ribeye, and I had some other really good garlic mashed potatoes, and had some wine, and had a good meal, and relaxed, and came home and drank some more wine, and relaxed, and enjoyed some fresh air outside. So a good day. Watched the parade earlier in the day. Each and every year the parade disappoints me. It gets worse and worse with the acts they bring on, in my opinion. I'm sure a lot of people like it, and I know times change, but yeah, we should go back to 1994 and have the WWF superstars on the floats again. Have Doink the Clown and Dink and all them guys. But yeah, so it was a good day, man. And I know you had the family functions going on.
Yeah, unlike you, I had turkey.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole lot better on Thanksgiving.
I guess you're more all-American, I guess, right?
Well, you got to say it. I'm an all-American brother. But no, we had turkey, macaroni, potatoes,
nice.
devil eggs. Had the good stuff.
There you go, with your good brother shirt on.
Yes.
I see you wearing
the
shirt.
good brother autograph right up there.
There you go. I got my Mr. Wrestling 2 shirt on, if anybody can see it. I was a big Mr. Wrestling 2 fan, and I spoke in the past on the podcast about a year ago when we were doing just the audio version about Mr. Wrestling 2 meaning a big deal to me as a child. I don't know what it was. I guess he wore the white mask, and he was a simple looking pro wrestler, like from the throwback days, still in the early 80s when things were changing, but to me, he had that knee lift as the finisher. He hit that knee lift, bam, and guys would sell for it. And the thing was, when you go into your finishers, and one thing good about that era still, especially during the 80s, is if they hit you with the finisher and they didn't want you to get beat, like he'd hit the knee lift and the guys would go flying and then roll to the floor or go through the ropes to avoid getting pinned. But nowadays, they'll hit you with their finisher. You kick out. They may hit you 4 other times. You may finally let them pin you after hitting the same finisher 4 times. That's the only thing I don't like about the new style. But yeah, Mr. Wrestling 2, really big to my heart. First pro wrestler that got me hooked. And then from there on, it was Dusty Rhodes and Hulk Hogan. Anybody else's heroes. The Rock and Roll Express was a big deal to me growing up in the 80s. And yeah, so, and then WCW became WCW. And when I got into the business years later, I wanted to go to WCW, so it was cool to go there. And yeah, buddy. But I did think about Starrcade yesterday, Thanksgiving night tradition. The Survivor Series became a Thanksgiving night tradition. I did not watch, most time I watch one event every year. I pick either a Starrcade or a Survivor Series. This year I did not watch any wrestling at all on Thanksgiving. But you know, but nonetheless, I thought about the good old days and stuff like that yesterday as well. But yeah, I had to bring up the Good Brother shirt, and I had to talk about Mr. Wrestling too. So
Yeah, I mean, when you got the best tag team shirt and the autograph right behind you, it's always a good time.
I got the Hulk Hogan, and I believe I got you. I believe I got you a copy of that one, the Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and Sting autograph. Is that it? Yes, you got
Yeah.
it right there too. I got it behind me.
And then
Yeah.
I had some kind of weird referee gave me an autograph and
Autograph
everything.
photo. Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like that
So,
handsome ginger ref from years past.
well, speaking of the referee and everything, and his autograph, I also got another autograph from him, and it's the Little Hammer.
That's right. And you know, it's funny you bring that up. I just had to use the big hammer earlier today, so
Well,
I
I
was using.
mean, look at this thing.
It's
Look,
an actual hammer. It's just smaller.
here's
Oh
the
my.
thing.
Okay. No,
Like,
no. You can't do that. No. Oh my lord.
it's a good thing Joey said size don't matter.
Who said that?
Your wife.
Oh my god, you're full of crap. Look on the screen, guys. It's telling you where to watch us at. Obviously, you might know this by now because if you're watching it already, it's on YouTube. That's our main streaming platform for the podcast. There are going to be more and more ways to watch it, and we will let you know. Also, it's telling you on the screen, go to cowboyrevolution.com. It's Cowboy Revolution Apparel Company. And at checkout, use code JamieT123 for 15% off on your purchase. Do that now. The holidays is coming up. You know, it's a month away. Do that by one of it's our only sponsor at the moment. We were with David Protein in the past as well. We are going to bring more on board, but right now, go to cowboyrevolution.com and get you some nice savings today. I also want to let you know, bam, let's do it right there. Send your questions and comments to WrestleRef123, just like the last episode, guys. Me and Mike got a little heated there about the Chris Benoit question, but we will tell you what we really feel and think. So send your questions to that email, WrestleRef123@gmail.com. So I think we hit everything early in the show right there about, you know, send your question comments up. I'll leave that one up just a little bit, just so you guys can either write it down or start sending your emails in right now. And if, you know, you send your emails in, next episode, we'll answer them. So send them to Mike if you don't want to send them to me. Yeah, it won't hurt my feelings any.
Yeah, send them to me, and we'll tell you exactly what we feel. Like Chris Benoit deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Man, Chris Benoit's Hall of Fame bound. Doesn't matter what he did outside the business. I'll continue to say that day to day. You know, but that question, though, dude, really made me upset because they were assuming I was saying stuff that I wasn't, or they actually interpreted it the wrong way, or just somebody trying to rile you up, obviously. But regardless of what Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous was trying to get out of somebody here, you'll get the same answer each and every time. I never, ever said anything positive about what he did in 2007, but I've always talked great about his accolades and his accomplishments in the pro wrestling industry, and that will always stay the same. So, but yeah, send your questions. You got any other personal stories, Mike? Any funny stuff you want to share with us before we move forward with the with some podcasting about pro wrestling?
Oh, let's see. No, not at this moment.
Okay.
I mean, you kind of put me on the spot, though. I'm sure it's a funny one. I'm sure it's a funny one somewhere,
Yes.
but I just probably didn't really think about it right now.
Right. Did you? I will bring up this since you're a big. Well, I'm glad you are because that was the time I was in WCW. You're a big wrestling WCW fan from the Russo era. You always talk
Yeah,
about it. You bring it up. David Arquette was on AEW.
was he?
Yeah.
I missed AEW last because we was doing Thanksgiving at the in-laws, so I missed
Because
it.
Yeah, from what I understand, I saw pictures online. They had his face on the big screen, and they taped this in Nashville. It looks like Jarrett was on the stage. You know what would be so cool was have some interaction between Jarrett and Arquette, being that it stems back to late WCW days. That would be really cool. But you can't. We ain't gonna have Russo there, so that's not gonna be fun. But just think if you get all of them in the same area again, same promotion, and just doing the wrestling thing, and that would be so cool. But we're not probably going to see that because Russo's got his own thing going on with ICP and the JCW, which that show's been heating up. I will say this about JCW, and then we'll go back to we can talk more AEW if you'd like, but JCW is a unique promotion. I will say this. It kind of throws back to the ECW days of when I watched it, not WWE's ECW. We're talking about Paul Heyman's in the 1990s when it was really crazy. It's got that twist to it, but you got the Vince Russo twist of the Attitude and the WCW era into it. And ECW was known for a lot of profanity. I will say that at times. And if you're someone that doesn't like that type of wrestling, which some people don't, you're probably going to want to stick to your WWE programming because this one gets a little edgy at times, throws out some words that some people don't like. But I will say that it's to me, it's very entertaining. It's something fresh. That's what the industry needs. And when Russo said he's bringing back the Attitude Era, right? Let me tell you this. He may be bringing back the Attitude Era, but it's refreshed because the Attitude Era hasn't been seen since maybe 2001, 2000. It was, it was during the era when they were fighting WCW. And after that ended, what was the next era that came in? I don't remember the name. Was it Ruthless Aggression? Okay. So you got Ruthless Aggression, but the landscape changed. Russo was gone by then. TNA had opened when he went to TNA. We all get it, but I am happy to see the product. It's a little edgy. I'd say give it a shot. If it's not your cup of tea, not every pro wrestling program is going to be everybody's cup of tea. But I'd say if you're a true pro wrestling fan, give it a shot and look at it and see the influence that he's given, but also see that it's a fresh influence that he's bringing back. Then it's just the same old humdrum. We expect this to happen each and every Monday and Friday nights, I guess. I think SmackDown's on Friday. And then you got what? NXT on Tuesday, which I haven't seen in a while. It's hard to keep up with all this wrestling with personal life, personal work, and then trying to watch it. It's just too hard. Not enough time ever. But what I do get to see, pro wrestling it's been on a steady pace. It's been steady in the aspect of, it's not dying down. I guess I'm saying because wrestling's like a roller coaster ride. They always said every 10 years it took a dump, and then it go back up for a few years and take another dump. Right? I guess we can use dip. I guess the dip like a roller coaster. Maybe dump wasn't the right word I needed, but anyway.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I think it stayed steady. It's been steady for a while. And I know a lot of people are saying the crowds are down at WWE events, and the ratings are down at AEW, and AEW don't get their crowds up or whatever. But it may play a factor, and we talked about it before. And we both do not like this factor, Mike. We do not like the fact that TKO charges these high ticket prices to the average wrestling fan that works hard and wants to take their family of 5, 6, hell, some families are big to these events and can't even afford to buy 2 tickets, much less they needed 5, right? So it's kind of disheartening, but we all heard the backstory why they're doing it. They're trying to catch up money, I guess, from what I'm reading, and they're in some financial trouble, but when they bought the WWE, you can look back. I'm telling you, WWE wasn't the problem. They were selling out arenas each and every week. I think now TKO's made it a problem for the average fan, but they're selling these tickets at such a high margin that they're like, well, I'll take the 5,000 in the arena and on a SmackDown taping than the normal 10 I would normally put in there because tickets are so high. We're making the money anyway. That's just the way it looks to me. And I'm just an outsider looking in because I don't know the real business part of what they're doing. But and I've been in the business, but I don't know anything behind that curtain other than the politics that some of us had to play it. Other than that, I don't know the financials, but I never did, and I'm not saying I know that, but hell, the politics was hard enough to keep up with. Much less I wouldn't want to know anything else. But Alexa's talking
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, I can hear that.
She told me to plan dinner.
But no, your JCW, I know exactly what you're talking about because I watched the little bit here and there,
Yeah,
and like even their intro song it comes
yeah,
out like cussing and everything. But something you said is something fresh, and it is because Russo was doing the interview when he first got there,
yeah.
and I don't know if you noticed it or not,
Okay.
but I didn't hear him say "bro" one time.
Ah, you're right. Okay,
He
bro.
did not say "bro" one time. I mean, at the end of an era on that one.
I wonder why he dropped bro.
Probably trademarks. Maybe WWE's got the trademark.
Maybe that's a
Uh,
good
I,
point. Yeah.
I mean, they could, but I doubt it. But it's just weird that he didn't do it on the new show.
Right, right. But yeah,
Well, I mean, it looks really cool, like you said. It's almost like ECW, old school ECW,
yeah,
and then like the lighting and stuff is almost like the old school TNA. But remember Lucha Underground or something?
I do. Yeah.
It's almost like that vibe too.
Do you remember Wrestling
Well,
Society X on MTV?
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe.
They were kind of had the same feel. They had this warehouse industrial look to it. That's probably where they taped it at, and it was California, I think. And but yeah, that's where Joey Ryan. Everybody knows Joey Ryan because of what he was over the years accused of by the lady wrestlers or whatever, the girls. Uh, but yeah, I mean that was a different show, brought a different element to the business. And we, everybody knows this, and I'll say it all day long. I'm a big wrestling fan. When I say wrestling, I mean wrestling. I don't mean let's go out here and hit each other's light tubes and chairs all night. I'm not into that. The one type of wrestling I do not like, and I'll openly admit it, is what they call death match wrestling. I cannot watch it. It just turns me away, and I will not go to a live event. I will never referee it, and I will never watch it on TV. So there we go. But then again, there's also that group of people that may be a smaller group that will watch it, support it, and that's why it's still there. And power to you, but you're not going to ever see me in a ring full of glass all over the mat for no reason. It makes no sense because you're putting yourself at risk of getting really severely injured. And they're going to say, somebody that supports that or a guy in that does it is going to notably come back and denounce everything I say. But the truth is the truth, and that's my truth. That's the way I feel. That's the only type of wrestling that I cannot stand. Because to me, you can't. If you try to compare that to ECW, you're an idiot. Because ECW was controlled violence. Paul Heyman and them knew what they wanted to give the crowd. They knew how to control it, and they knew how to keep injuries down. But when you're hitting people with light tubes and weird stuff, and I can't even think of half stuff they do. There's no element. It's not controlled violence at that point. It's just a bunch of non athletes, in my opinion. And if any of you see this and you're a death match wrestler and you want to whip my tail now, I'm sorry, but It's my opinion, and you have your opinion.
Please,
Probably you think you're,
please
huh?
leave a comment if you are,
Yeah,
and we will
we'll
make
have
that
you on the.
happen. We
We may
want
even
you
have
to
you.
whip his tail.
Well, we may have him on the show or her. Have somebody on the show and explain to me what's so cool about it. You
I just want them to get on the show and whoop his tail.
know. Okay, that's never gonna happen. But anyway, but you know, ECW is kind of like, I always would say this too, and probably other people have too. People like Dusty Rhodes and guys like that help get that style of wrestling over early with the bunkhouse stampedes, the bull rope matches. ECW just amped it up, and everybody did it there. So you can thank Dusty and the guys before. That's what I tell people. You thank everybody before you that laid the groundwork to where you are today. But that's the problem. Half the guys don't want to do that. They want to go back and look and go, oh, man, that was awful back in the 80s. That was awful back in the 90s. If you go back and look at it, it really wasn't. It was a lot. To me, it was a way better. But there's a lot of good today. And you take the good from yesteryear and the good from today, you mash it together, you probably have the most perfect storm you ever had. But that's never going to happen because you have so many people, unlike me with an open mind, you have so many people that's going to say, oh, the 80s and 90s sucked. And then you have people like, and wrestling historians, and one being Cornette. And I like Jimmy Cornette. He was always nice to me. I always got along with him. I worked with him, and I have nothing bad to say about the man. But he will go off and say that he's stuck in that era, and that's fine and good because he's probably right. It probably was the best era ever. But you also got to look at the stuff going on today. These guys are really good athletes. You have quite a few that are really good and very entertaining and are very worth watching. But if you could mesh the best of today, the best of the early 2000s, and the best of the 90s and the best of the 80s, if you could do this dream card and put all these guys together, even the guys that's passed and left us, you'd have the best damn promotion ever. But we can't do that. So you got good from everything and even good from now. If that makes any sense, I don't know. But I try to look at it that way because I'm a big pro wrestling fan, and I'm 47 years old. I got into business when I was 15, and I've watched it since I was probably 5. So I'm a big fan forever.
So you don't like that type of match. Was you in TNA in 2007?
8.
Okay. Well, I was watching on Pluto TV TNA Wrestling, and the Texas Death Match against James Storm and Chris Harris.
Okay.
Is a Texas Death Match supposed to be like a last man standing, pretty much, right?
Pretty much, and it's
Okay.
like bunkhouse style, right?
Okay, so what's up with TNA doing? You got to take a pinfall, like you got to cover the person for 3, and then they got to try to make it to their feet to 10. And then if they make it to their feet, then the next time they got to pin them again. Like what? But it's a few matches in TNA that doesn't make sense with the rules.
Right.
And that is one of them. Like we talked about that reverse battle royal one time. Like that one didn't make no sense to me.
Right.
Like you got to start on the outside, they jump in, and they eliminate the people, and then the last 2 does a regular match.
Right.
Like, is it just something that TNA did at the time, or is it like was it the stuff back in the 80s and stuff when you was watching it when you was 5 years old?
Like a style match like that with the same rules?
Yeah.
Do you remember
that? Or did TNA change the rules just to make it better?
I would think a little bit because you're telling. Let me see if I remember this correctly because I don't remember this match happening, but a lot of stuff's happened. So basically, they'd get pinned, but they still have to count them with a 10 count if they got up and the match continued, and they'd have another pinfall. Okay, so basically they were just trying. Whoever won the match, if you couldn't enter a 10 count, the other guy would win. Am I right? Versus whoever got the most pinfalls.
No, they didn't count the pinfall. They didn't count the pinfall. The pinfall was only for them to start counting to the 10.
Okay.
So, say like me and you had a match, and I whooped your tail, and I pinned you, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And then I get up. They will announce saying that the 10 count starts now. Then they start counting to 10. If you make it to your feet, then the match keeps going. If you don't, the match is over.
Right.
Then if you get to your feet before 10, next time I whoop your tail and you're laying there, I got to pin you again before the count starts again.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Not really. I don't remember.
Like, I like the match because I just watched it.
Yeah.
It was a really good match, but the way to win was out there.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. I'm gonna go look that up now because for some reason I don't remember that match. Was that the only one you know of that's happened like that?
Yeah, it was. Remember when America's Most Wanted split up and James Storm hit Wildcat in the eye with the beer bottle? This is when he came back after he took the eye patch off after like 5, 6 months or something.
Okay. Yeah. And then Chris Harris. Remember when Chris Harris went to WWE?
I think so. But he won the match, so I guess they thought he was staying.
And that was in 2007.
Yeah.
Chris Harris went in 2008. Yeah. Was it 2008? I get confused with my timeline sometimes. Because he came in and I was in FCW, which is developmental down here before NXT. And Chris came in and we knew each other from working with Burt Prentice and Wildside and all the NWA stuff back in the late 90s, early 2000s, or late 90s because I was in WCW after that. But we knew each other from that. And, he and James did enhancement work for WCW and R&B security during the Russo Bischoff era. So they got to do a lot of that. Did a lot of worldwide and Saturday night tapings until Saturday night went out. But good guys, always worked hard. But he went to WWE. I remember down here. And I'll go back and tell some WCW stuff in a minute. But he went to WWE. And he was down here in developmental. And they just put you through the ringer sometimes down here. They did something called Man in the Middle. And you'd stand in the middle. And you'd have 4 guys. You'd have one in each corner, and they'd feed you. And want to do a move. Bam. Do a move. Boom. The same move 4 times to these people. Then the next round, you do something else. And you may wrestle a little bit with one, then you do it again with the second, the third, the fourth. And I remember I stayed during this. And I wasn't refereeing this part because the man in the middle, you don't need a referee because it's just the trainers. And this, I think it was Dr. Tom at the time, was just overseeing this because he's coming down there to get ready for TV. That's all they had him there for. Wasn't there to train more. Wasn't there because they thought he needed to train. It was there to get him ready for TV. So he came in, and I guarantee you that was over an hour they put him through. But, that's hard on you to just to bump straight for an hour with 4 different people going at you at all times. That's one thing I remember when he came in, and then they made him change his name. And for that, I hated because why couldn't he stay Chris Harris? Because everybody knew him from TNA and put him on TNA as Chris Harris. I think you'd have got more out of him putting him on WWE television than doing what they did. But then they put him on I don't like calling shows A, B, and C, but people considered the ECW show the C show at this time. It was 1 hour. It came on Sci-Fi, and that's where they put him. He lasted a couple weeks on there, and before you know it, I think he was released soon after. But my whole point here is I think they put him in a bad situation, made him change his damn name to Braden Walker. Okay, come on. Braden Walker. It's okay. But to me, it was just a generic WWE name that came out of developmental all the time. Everybody had these generic names that would get hired at WWE. They'd make you change your name. You get a generic name, and you come out, and a lot of them would fall in the cracks because nobody cared because it was too many guys on the roster anyway. And he was just in a bad predicament from the get-go. I've heard interviews that he's talked about it. I've never asked him personally about it, and I saw him 3 years ago at WrestleCade in Carolina. And he, it was great seeing him and James together again. But here's the thing: I think that if he'd have stayed at TNA, it would have been his best bet. But he was trying to do what he thought was best, and that's getting hired by the biggest wrestling company in the whole wide world. And that's what we all wanted. That's why I ended up moving to Florida the first time, and then I ended up at TNA when it didn't work out. And but I just felt bad for him during that time because Chris has always been a great worker and could give so much to a match, and then be put in the predicament he was had to be disheartening on his behalf. I know it was because he really does care about the business and loves it. And then when you're put in a situation where you feel like you can't give your full potential, it's got to hurt. But then they're going to go off and say, well, we gave you all this opportunity. Yes and no. If you give a guy an opportunity and it doesn't fit him right, it's not going to work. That's just the way I see it. And but overall, I truly believe he'd have stayed at TNA. He'd have had another – God, man, he'd have had another 3 or 4 or 5, 6 year good run before, the ship started sinking a little bit more. He would have had a very many few years longer run, and maybe with James, who knows? But I believe James teamed with Rude after that, and they were a good tag team. When I was there, Rude was with him, and I enjoyed working with both of them. But I knew Chris, like I said, from the '90s, and I just felt bad for him. But I'm going to go watch that match, though, Mike. I know I got off track, but I'm going to go watch that one.
Please watch it. Like I said, it's actually a really good match.
Yeah, I kind of remember it, but I don't remember. If it makes any sense, I kind of remember hearing about it, but I don't remember if I watched it, and if I did, I don't remember it.
You need to watch it anyways.
Yeah.
So Chris Harris jumped out of the ring, over the guardrail, onto James Storm. Took out James Storm and 2 security people.
Yeah.
Do you think those security people was actually security or extras to take the bump?
I would.
Or they just took out the security for no reason?
No. I'm going to say they were part of the gig because something happened recently. It might have been Raw. Was it Raw when the cops came out recently? Yeah. And I saw that. And if you look at the guys, once they took their bumps and they were laying there and the cameras on them, none of their outfit looked 100% legit at that point. And some of them had black shirts and blue pants, and you get what I'm saying. It was this mixed match, and it was just part of the gig, 90%, 95%, maybe 99.9% of the time, all that's worked. Now they would back in the day on Nitro use the actual cops for scenes, but it was still part of the show. Like when the NWO would interfere and the cops would try to restore order, and it looks like they're pulling the nightclub. What do you call them? The nightstick out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's all just everybody knows it. It's all work, right? But it's good for show. And the whole point of pro wrestling was to get you out of get the fans' mind out of the element of thinking that it's a work by getting them riled up getting them so involved into the story that they get so like, oh man, this is awesome, right? And they get so much in that story, they actually start hating somebody. And that's worked. And the last time you saw that in the pro wrestling business and that big of something happening was during the NWO days, and maybe some Attitude Era. WWE may have had some same scenarios where fans really took stuff serious, but that's really the last time I remember that the actual wrestling fan got mad and wanted to jump in the ring. Because you saw the videos, the ones with the fans running the ring, that's legit back in the day on them pay-per-views. Now that was legit. They were fans. They wasn't actors or part of the show then. And, you know, you can see like some of the referees like kicking them in the head and trying to get them not to come in the ring. But yeah, but that's good. Good for business. When you got people throwing trash at you like they did the NWO and the ring's all full of trash and everybody's all mad, it got them all riled up. They're in the story, man. And I don't think we get that anymore, really. But you also got to realize we're so far along in the internet era. We're so far along that people's read the news for the last 30 years on the internet or more that they know what's happening as soon as it happens. And sometimes they know what's going to happen before it happens. And that took, to me, that took all the element away from the surprise. That it's kind of like if David, you know, the Magician show came out years ago. David Copperfield didn't do it, but it's kind of like if David Copperfield came out and said, all the shit I did all these years, they wasn't just illusions. It was all just, we worked you, people. We worked you. It's sort of like that. Even if they think you are performing a fake act, right, in their eyes, but if you can sit there and make them believe, you've done your job. And that's the same thing. Wrestling's like a magician, you know. And guys like, you know, Bret Hart in his days and took it serious. And Hogan and other guys took their part serious. But, you know, a whole different world now. We let the people in so far that there's no way of shutting the door no more. And you know, David Copperfield, hopefully you do watch this. I want you to come on the show and show us how you do your magic tricks.
Yes, I agree with that. I mean, anybody that wants to show us magic tricks, I'm cool with.
Well, let me ask you this, Mike, real quick. When you watch a movie, right, and you know going into that movie, you already know in your head that them car scenes, the fast scenes, and the jumping the ramps, jumping the whatever, and the everybody shooting at the cars. I don't know what movie I'm thinking of. It's one of them. Maybe Fast and Furious. Just use that for example. You're watching it for the races and for whatever. Maybe the fight scenes. I don't know. I've never watched one of them myself at all. But you're watching it, but you know for a fact that it's not really happening. But you watch that movie and you let your mind take over. And you imagine, oh my God, this is great. Look at that car. Look at this action. Look at this. Pro wrestling's the same way. But when everybody's wanting to become a smart, we call them smart marks, or everybody wants to critique it, it kind of killed the illusion of what's supposed to be there. And, you know, and people can say, well, we're not insulting their intelligence anymore. You never were insulting anybody's intelligence. You were letting them get riled up in the moment, and you gave them really good entertainment. You never said this. Here's the thing. You never said we're pulling your leg. But, you know, nobody in the wrestling business ever said that. But, you know, now that the curtain's been pulled wide open, you know, it's done. There's no going back. That's the problem. I think that we should have left it more wondering happening. Let people wonder. They're going to be like, that's no way that's happening. But did that just happen? The same person will say that. Did that really just happen? after thinking, there's no way this is real. What? Did that happen? You know what I'm saying? That's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to make you believe, even if you don't believe. And but the old school wrestling fans back in our day, dude, some of them heels that make you so mad you wanted to kill them, you know. And Ole Anderson used to get stabbed. I mean, I'm not saying fans get mad now and go start stabbing people. All I'm saying is they really riled up people. And now it's, well, I watched this match last night, and I would say that Seth Rollins should have done this instead of that. And this guy should have done that instead of this. And you never stepped 1 foot in the ropes. You shouldn't be able to critique any match to that level, you know? If you're on the inside, but you're not, you know, like a lot of the fans aren't. And that's not, I'm not being negative towards you. Because I think the pro wrestling fan is some of the best fans ever, especially when you meet them at these conventions and signs and stuff. Some of the best ever. But the whole moral of the story is I hate that the illusion part's gone. I hate it. I've hated that for years. Because I used to have people ask me, "What'd you do fake?" And I would and before I would never say it was right. But before I go any farther, I've said this before, maybe even last week. I hate the F word, and that's fake. It ain't the bad word everybody's thinking. It's fake because pro wrestling is not fake. It's predetermined. It's a big difference. Every action, every movement, every bump is real. So don't, for one inkling of an eye, people think that it's fake. It's predetermined. And that's all I'll say about it. I will never say the F word because to me, it's not, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely the illusion has gone away. Like you said, last week you said, what, Sheamus got hurt and he's going to be replaced up in the last time of Snell tournament.
Yeah.
So
Is he really hurt?
before we got off, I don't know. I haven't heard nothing else from that.
Okay.
But but we've made a prediction on who it could be and all that stuff. Right after we get off the podcast, after we talked about it, I get on Facebook.
Yeah.
And they taped the show because of Thanksgiving and all that stuff so people could be with their family. Right. And it's all over the Facebook that his replacement is The Miz. Like, they already posted this, like, all over Facebook, and I was like, man, like, so, and then they even said they lost.
Oh my God.
So, spoiler. So, Miz comes back tonight and he loses. So, surprise. If you didn't want to know, just remember Chris Benoit needs to go into the Hall of Fame. Surprise.
That's right. Chris Benoit's Hall of Fame 2026. Come on, WWE, you got to do it. You got to do it. Yeah, man. I don't know. I know apparently, you know, you were talking about Sheamus. He had a shoulder injury, and he looked good on Raw with the 6-man tag, but maybe it was something he already had and just acted up, or maybe something did happen in the match and we just didn't know it. I would assume at this point.
I think it's weird now because he has a shoulder injury in the tournament, so he got replaced. But then Penta just had a shoulder injury and lost the match because he had it during the match. I mean, that's 2 shoulder injuries back to back.
Right.
I mean, is it really? Penta looks like he kind of landed on the shoulder a little bit.
Yeah. But
I mean, that's the only thing I could see. Sheamus, on the other hand, he looks fine to me. But I ain't a doctor.
Well, no. But, you know, we're talking about a business where you know, maybe he's really injured, maybe he's not. I would assume that he is. I don't know either. But, seeing a 6-man tag, I was like, that was in Madison Square Garden. I'd have loved to see him in the singles there, personally. If we're going to critique something now, I'm actually a fan watching this at the moment, basically, right? I'm not currently active on the major scene or anything like that. But me watching it, I would have loved to see more of a role of, hey, I don't know who. I mean, I thought we was getting him and Dominic again, Mysterio, and then they switched it up. But
we're getting Cena Dom at Survivor Series.
yeah, is it for the IC title?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You think-
now I don't like that because one or two things going to happen.
Yeah.
It's rumored that he's got to drop the title, so it sounds like he's going to drop it to Dom. So if he does, that's one loss.
Yeah.
Then his last match is very heavily rumored that Gunther is going to beat him in his last match. So now you got him possibly losing his last two matches.
Right.
And
okay.
I don't think so. Like, I don't know. It's fair. I can give the loss to Dom because he's younger and like you can build it up and stuff. But Gunther, on the other hand, he's already been a world champion, the longest reigning Intercontinental champion. Like,
right.
He retired Goldberg. Like, he's got stuff on his resume.
Right.
He should not take the last match like that.
Yep.
Dom, like, you're still building him up to be up in the main event.
Yeah.
So that one makes sense.
Right.
The other one doesn't.
Right. Yeah, I'm waiting to see. And then, of course, December 13th is his final match, right? Yeah. So we'll see how that goes up in Saturday's night's main event, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I hope his last match is a good one. And like I said before, he needs to go out on top. So that's my opinion on that. I'm going to read a funny headline here, Mike. Becky Lynch recalls being warned about male wrestler who would blacklist women after sleeping with them. Did you see that article? No. Okay.
No.
Well,
Nobody
to me, they really didn't come out and say who it was or anything if you read the article. But I'm going to read this insert from the article that's been posted online. It said, at one point, he got my number, and I remember being like, how do you walk this line? You know what I mean? There was always this thing, if you get into a relationship and things go south, they're not going to fire the guy. They're always going to fire the girl. So it was a very scary, precautious thing. I don't know who it is. It doesn't say who she's talking about, and she didn't come out and say it. Apparently, they're on some podcast that they did and talked about it. The only thing I don't get
Did it say what year?
Huh?
Did it say what year?
2018, 2019.
Is that like when she first got onto the main roster?
Maybe. She wasn't with Seth yet, right? No.
No.
That was before him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just a weird thing to read. That's all I gotta say. And the part she said that the girl would get fired. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. Sometimes I think the shoe can be on the other foot. Am I right? And the guy in the relationship will get fired, and the girl will stay on roster. We've seen that, right? Haven't we seen that?
Oh, Yes, yes, we have.
Yeah. So am I thinking about the same people?
Maybe.
What about Andrade? Remember
Yeah,
him?
I mean, yeah,
Charlotte's ex. Didn't he get released
yeah.
while they still were together?
No, see, I don't know. They was together. Then they was together and went to AEW
Mm-hmm.
first time. Then he wanted to go back to WWE to be with her. Then they got a divorce, and that's why he's trying to leave. And then he thinks he can get more of a push in AEW, but then the whole year contract is not complete. So I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on with that one.
Right. Right.
But I don't think it's because they got a divorce or anything.
Right.
What you're
Gotcha.
thinking. I think he wanted to go back to WWE to spend more time with her. Because maybe the relationship was crumbling then. I don't know.
Okay.
And
Which
then after it did, he's like, well, I can go back over there and probably make more money
right.
and stuff. And PKO blocked that one.
Yeah. Yeah. TKO. So basically, the contract that he signed with Tony Khan and AEW, is he getting paid still from them too?
I, I don't know.
I would say no. Right?
But he signed a contract, though.
Yeah, but couldn't they be like, well, you're still getting? Is he still getting paid from WWE?
Yeah. Well, I guess,
See,
yeah, because, well,
non-compete time, right?
yeah, but it's different, though, because it's a whole year, not 90 days. But I also heard that he ain't supposed to work anywhere in the world, but they said, like, he was up in Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
like, when he came back to WWE after his little AEW thing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But his lawyers trying to talk to TKO, try to knock it down some to maybe make it like 90 days or something.
Well, yeah, that's almost like the old contracts because it had. I wish I had mine pulled out right now. The one I signed. Um, it's kind of weird. It did say at one point 90 days, but if you read farther down, it says something about a year. But nobody paid attention to that. Everybody's like, whatever. Um, so I
Well, I
went to
think the
TNA.
year was something like he did something like talking bad or he did something to get fired on purpose or something. Not
Right.
them like, and that's pretty much what he did, I think. That's the drug test, and they
Ah,
released him for that, I think, because it was like his second or third time.
yeah.
And his understanding, he didn't have like 90 days or anything.
Yeah.
But then apparently he did when he got like fired or released that like that. So I don't
Huh.
know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking about everything, and uh, basically, I don't see how they could keep him from working after the 90 days because I don't see him keeping him a whole year of paying him. Is what I'm saying. I can see the 90 days of paying him and keeping him from working, but a whole year, maybe it's we'll pay you 90 days. I'm not sure. I wish
No,
I had it
I
with.
don't think it's that. I think he's not getting paid for the
Well, if he's
year.
not getting paid, how can they stop him from making a
So,
living?
so I mean, if that's the case, if they're paying me a year, I wouldn't even say nothing. I'll just take the money. I'll be like Kevin Nash, give me the money.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. That's weird. I don't know because
But yeah,
the contracts may be different now. I don't know. I have to go look at mine and maybe we'll go over certain things in it one day on the actual podcast. Because I was wanting to also bring my booking sheets out one day, and I got them from WCW and TNA booking sheets, and I got the lineup sheets. from the meetings. I got all them too. Maybe we can go over some of them. But I don't know. I just feel like if you release somebody, you know, I know they sign contracts, but in a court of law, I'm pretty sure a lot of that's not going to hold up if they actually went that route because they want to, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of like keeping a human being from making a dollar or a living somewhere else when the case may be he may need to do that. I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying, what if, right? But it's causing him not to be able to earn money somewhere else. But then again, these contracts now may be so different. Maybe they're so ironclad that it would hold up, and he has no legs to stand on. And if he doesn't hold out, you know, he could get in some trouble. I don't know. But, you know, once again, you said he's in Mexico working, but I don't see them saying much about that. I say it's more of AEW and stuff like that, that they're going to be like, yeah, you can't work. You can't do that. That's where they're trying to keep him from. They're trying to keep him from AEW and big companies, you know, that they would consider
Yeah, I think it's
some
like
sort of competition.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't even think it was AAA. I think it was like a lower end
Maybe
Mexican place.
yeah, that maybe because AAA is part of WWE, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they bought them. Am I right?
yeah,
Yeah. And then there's what CMLL and
yeah. Well, they're associated with AEW.
okay,
He went good to that one.
yeah,
So,
interesting. I like to find out
but
how that all works.
but we need to go to another story you told me about.
What's that?
What's up with Bret Hart these days?
Bret Hart. I mean,
Yeah, I mean he's almost starting to sound, in my opinion, like a grumpy old man.
yeah, okay,
Like I think he just needs to be like Ric Flair, be off the screen and social media for a long time. Because to me, it seems like he's messing up his reputation. Like, like now, it's like no matter what, he's taking jabs at Goldberg nonstop. Like every time he gets a chance to do an interview, it's always a jab at Goldberg.
yeah,
But then now he comes out with a story about Shawn Michaels. Like I thought they buried the hatchet. And then all of a sudden he comes out with a story that Shawn got to where he was because he's sleeping with a male person in WWE, and then it comes out to be Vince McMahon. Like,
right,
now is that true? Is it not? I don't know,
okay,
but like he just needs to be quiet.
yeah. So you can take it one or two ways. You can take it Brett is trying to start something here and trying to say that, or you can take it as he's being a little condescending, a little sarcasm, and you know, like yeah, blah, he's trying to slap, blah blah, blah, you know, and being, I don't know, I don't know, you know, I really don't know, but I know Brett has a lot of what some people would come off as saying he's a little jaded, a little says things that are off color at times, maybe negativity. But you know, he is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. It's a hitman, baby.
No, no, it's not.
Okay.
No.
Bret
If
Hart's
you're
the
gonna
best of all time.
no, if you're gonna say the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, you're gonna be talking about Vince Russo.
Former WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
The last real WCW World Heavyweight Champion, never been pinned or submitted in WCW, never got pinned for the championship. So in reality, he is still the WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
What if we could get David Arquette? I mean, he's appearing on wrestling TV shows again, right?
Yeah.
What if we could get a David Arquette Vince Russo match to determine the real WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
Look, look. We need to have to put on the big stage, WrestleMania. But let me change it up a little bit. Vince Russo and David Arquette in a tag team versus the Good Brothers. That would
Oh,
be the best match of all time.
dude, they would win.
I will go into debt to buy tickets for front row for TKO to watch that match.
Okay.
Make it happen TKO, and I'll be there front row.
All right. Well, now you heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. What Mike has said, what he would do if that match would come true. So
Front row.
let's work on it. Let's convince him to do it.
Thing is, none of them is in WWE right now.
That's true.
So I don't know how it's gonna happen.
Maybe on JCW.
Maybe we can get it on JCW.
Yeah.
Maybe somehow they can work all together and do it on NWA and everything, because the Good Brothers are on that sometimes.
That's true. That's true.
MLW, the Good Brothers on there.
True.
The Good Brothers are everywhere. If you don't know who it is, it's those two people right up there on the tip top.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
they're also above Hogan, Macho Man, and Sting for a reason. And of course, for some reason, that referee is always on the bottom.
that's a hell of a reference there, buddy.
I don't know about that. But don't forget, this was his little hammer.
So, do you remember the conversation we talked a couple of days ago? And some of them names were really stupid. And I said it had to be made up. Had to be. It was the pay-per-view name changes, the PLE name changes. Do we have that anywhere pulled up so we can go over these names? I thought I had the names pulled up here.
I thought I sent it to you.
I think you did. Let's see if I can find it.
How did you tell me about it?
Huh?
How did you tell me about it when I told you about it?
Was it you who told me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, but it sounded good.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it was.
We talk about a lot of things on here. But while we're looking that up,
before I go any farther, look at something else I saw. The fan in the crowd holding a sign that says "Our last WWE show, thanks TKO," and it had dollar signs on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, they're telling you right there, people. Let's see.
Like, I'm still looking for it, but remember, I sent it to you on the 24th of November. WCW Thunder became a radio station, but they got the old Thunder logo, 104.5. And if I'm thinking correctly, because I think I turned it on for us, so you can just check it out. That's like country music, I think.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with country music.
So I can't find that, but let's talk about the NWA national title.
The NWA one or the AEW one?
The AEW. I'm sorry. The AEW looks just like the old 80s version of the National Wrestling Alliances, right? Have you seen them?
Yep.
Yeah. So is that legit?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is. They showed it on TV. It was on their when they did the match for it.
Now, do you think they did that? Do you think they made that title that way on purpose?
I think they already had it planned, don't you? Like
yes.
Well, see, because it takes a while to do a design, right?
Well, they're right, but they were on TBS, right? And NWA had all that lineage on that station. So I think it's
I mean, I don't know. It's weird because, like NWA is kind of mad about the name. Them
Yeah.
trying to use the name of the championship,
Yeah.
but then all of a sudden they got a title that looks just like theirs. It's like
Yeah.
two kind of. It's like one is like the color. I forgot which one it was. One was like the exact color of it, and the other one is like the exact design of it.
Mhm.
It's kind of like putting two titles into one, so they can not really for like copyright issues, I guess, but it's the same exact design.
Right.
Like the whole molding and everything, it's identical.
Right. Yeah. It's
So
crazy. But I guess the question I'm trying to ask, if you're the NWA, do you get offended or you just go on as business as usual?
right now, I say it's who cares? Like you was mad about the name. Like I can understand you use the name or whatever, but you got y'all's title. I mean, it's a whole different lineage on the new title and everything. So it is what it is. You know, like you're gonna get mad because WWE's got a world title and AEW's got a world title.
Right.
Like it's like the same thing, but it's two different titles and everything. So it don't make sense. So they should just let it go. But then the whole design after it was public, I think I'd be more mad about the design and everything than the name on it.
Right.
Like I don't know. Like if they would have changed the design or something a little bit, just a little bit,
Right.
it would have been okay, I think. But it's the same exact. It's copy and paste.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean,
Well,
it's in my opinion, it's one of the best titles they got. But
yeah.
you also so you can look at it a couple different ways. Like AEW, they go with old championship designs, but they're making their own. So
Okay.
each design is something like old school. You gotta go back and look at it and stuff, but something like about it is old school.
Yeah.
This is the
So,
only one that is copy and paste exactly like it. So if you're gonna make a big deal about the name, you should make a big deal about the design. I haven't heard nothing about the design yet.
right. Right. But here's the big thing here is that concerns me. Um, have we heard from Billy Corgan on the situation? Has Billy actually said anything on social media about it?
The only thing I heard was they talked about it. Like Tony actually talked to Billy
Mm-hmm.
and everything about it, like the whole name and stuff. And it sounded like they was okay with it. This is kind of coming from Tony Tom, so who knows exactly.
Yeah, because I
Apparently,
know
like,
that their current
but I don't
talent
know if
is
it's
upset,
the AEW, the NWA national champion. He's the one that's been throwing the big fuss about it.
and the
So that
NWA television champion too.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know exactly if they did talk, like if Tony's telling the truth and they talked about it, and then Billy not telling his people and stuff, like that might be one thing.
mm-hmm.
But then you would think he would be like, hey, here's a heads up, whatever. Or did they not talk? Tony lied. They did talk. Now they're mad about it.
Yeah,
Or did they actually bring this up as a plan? Maybe they're going to maybe do like a working relationship. Because now you
right.
got people talking about both companies. So you ain't talking about just AEW and
Yeah,
the championship. Now you talk about the NWA. And the
right.
NWA just got a deal on the Roku channel. So now
Yeah,
they're moving up slowly. So maybe AEW's like, well, maybe we got to get a working relationship with a good like company, and really the only one left would be NWA because WWE's got TNA. So maybe they're thinking they got to battle each other and work together like that.
Possibly, it could be all a ruse. You're right. Um, huh? Yeah, I just my take on it is, I mean, it's kind of like you got WWE World Title, right? You got AEW World Title. You got an NWA World Title. You got XYZ over here has a world title. You get what I'm getting at. Wouldn't the national title or any name, U.S. title, wouldn't that all fall in the thing of, well, it's another promotion with a world champion, another promotion with a national champion, another promotion with a U.S. champion, another promotion with a ladies champion. You get what I'm saying? So should it be that big deal at all? Because at the end of the day, um, it's pro wrestling, bro. It's a title, and some guys get over without a title, never even have a title, and so I just look at it like, if it's not part of some kind of upper work relationship, that I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't even give them the light of day. You know what I'm saying? If it's not if it's not a working all, bro, they should have never gave AEW the light of day to say, "Hey, we're pissed at you." You know what I'm saying? Should never. You should just let it be, ignore it, because you're the NWA, you're the National Wrestling Alliance. You're supposed to be the oldest governed body in professional wrestling. Why do you care what AEW does? That didn't start there to 2019. I would just, if it's not a work, I would just would have let it go. I wouldn't even said anything. I'd let it be. Act like whatever they're doing, they're doing.
I mean, thinking about it, I mean, it could be a working relationship now,
Yeah.
honestly. And then who knows? Maybe they will fight together and then have a match and maybe have like a unified national champion, and then the spotlight goes back to the NWA and stuff.
Could be.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like I'd be down for them working together, but would it actually benefit the NWA?
Right.
Like if you watch some of the matches on the Rookie channel, uh, sorry, I'm trying to plug that in for them. But I think NWA right now, they don't have like the big name talent, but if you watch the wrestling, I it's pretty close to AEW right there. They just don't have the size of crowds to be number two, number three promotion, but the stuff is there for them to move up. They ain't never going to go anywhere on the Rookie channel.
No.
Like people got the Rookie channel, but they're not going to be watching, trying to find that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um, well, I mean, if they can get a good uh, TV deal and everything, that's not because that's still kind of streaming and stuff. If they get
Yeah.
like an actual TV deal, I think they can slowly move up, and then after say 3-4 years, they could be number three. Because I don't think they're ever going to be number two right now and go past TNA. I think it's WWE to TNA.
Right.
I think TNA is number two over AEW.
Yeah.
I don't think NWA is going to get there until they can actually maybe go to different areas now and not just like in one spot. I think they need to like really move out and stuff and get bigger crowds before they could think about moving up. But
Right.
their shows and stuff, I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy watching it.
But I know both the gentlemen the national champion. It's Mike Mondo from the Spirit Squad.
Yep.
Um,
Mikey.
I met him in developmental here in Tampa, part of Florida Championship Wrestling, and good guy. Always liked him. And then the other one's Brian Idol. I got to meet him through Sal and Gabe Sapowski, which runs with the WWE now. He's I think they put him over the AAA show, from what I understand, with Jeremy Borash. He was over Evolve, the company that they bought. They bought Evolve from him. But anyway, I know both guys, and regardless if it's not part of a scheme and it's legit, they have their right. If it upsets them that much, they are part of the NWA, and they're probably proud to be there, and they're back in it, and I can't say anything wrong for that, because I'm a company guy. When I work for a company, I put that company first and foremost every time myself. When I was in TNA, I put TNA first. When I was in WCW, I put it first. I wouldn't worry about what anybody else did, but where I worked, and so I get it. And so them being upset doesn't make me mad. I don't care. So do your thing. If it gets you some eyes on you, gets people to know your product more, I mean, good for you. Do it. So yeah, but it is interesting to see where they're going to go with all that and stuff, regardless of what's going on. So one more thing, I want to talk about Bret Hart again. Did you also see the article that Bret Hart says that Sheamus punches are an embarrassment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Here's the thing now. Now that he brought that up, guess what I'm going to be watching in every Sheamus match? His punches.
Look, I let me just say, if he really feels like that, let's see how good he is. Put him in the ring with Goldberg and Sheamus on two-on-one handicap match. Let Goldberg kick him in the head again, and then let Sheamus just punch him.
Okay.
And then Shawn Michaels could be the special guest referee.
Okay. Yeah. No, Mike. No. Anyway,
I'm just not a big Bret Hart fan, but
okay.
I'm not going to say the Sheamus punch looks bad. Even if he, what do you say, like when he gets close, he opens up his hand and like smacks him.
Right.
Like it's not that it's. I don't think anybody really pay attention to that before because we never heard it before until now. His punches looks pretty good and everything. He's more like a street fighter almost, like he's brawling and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to give him that title, and then he's going to go around smacking people.
Right. I got you.
Brett just needs to stay off of social media.
Who? Bret Hart?
Yeah.
Oh. So I haven't saw
Well,
any Flair
better.
news recently. I haven't saw any good Flair news to talk about. So
No, he's been keeping it kind of
pretty quiet lately, huh?
Hey, what about AJ Lee? Remember that thing I sent you about the fan did the little AI thing?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
It's a good AI. I'm scared.
I mean, is it real? And it got out and she's trying to blame it on AI?
I would say no.
I mean, it could be.
But here's the thing, though. So let's look at this AI thing with her, right? So the AI thing with her is she puts it out there and she's got lots of followers, right? The guy's going to get shunned. Everybody's going to hate him. And then you got this, say, Becky or Sue down the street here that's just never been on TV in their life, and then they get AI'd stuff and pictures and they're naked, whatever, right? Nobody cares. They're going to think they actually did it, but yet she's out here and she can defend herself. So good for her. But it's just sad that I was watching. Not, I don't care. I'm gonna go over and talk about it real quick. I was watching Law and Order the other week, and they had an AI thing on there where there was AI pictures made of this young girl with this older guy, and it just ruined her whole thing. Right? Her whole life was a mess. And then you sit there and think about it, and you're like, the cops followed all that. They believed it, and they found out in the end, she didn't do it. It was AI'd. But my point here is, anybody that's not in the public eye has got millions of followers. I don't know if she's got millions. I'm just guessing. It may be hundreds of thousands, but nonetheless, a lot of people versus somebody that has 500 or less that's living down the street here, and she gets AI pictures of her doing something that's inappropriate, and they're going to be like, I'm going to say it, she's a big W, or I can say it, she's a hoe. I mean, you know what I'm saying, bro? And it's the truth. Your public eye, at least you can get out there to your viewers and listeners and go, hey, it wasn't me. And not the Shaggy song either from the parade. But it's kind of like that. And then, you look at that, and AI is really scary. So I have no doubt in my mind that wasn't AI, because I've seen some crazy stuff people are putting out there, and it's not even funny. It looks almost, if you don't look at it real close enough, you think it's real. And I just hate the day they brought AI up, to be honest. But it's here. So, but no, I don't believe it's legit at all. And she's trying to
I mess with you. That thing looks fake. If you watch like the whole entire thing and everything, like they just slowly just turn, like
Yeah.
you could just tell it. And then the kiss looked terrible, and then it looked good, and that's where you got the picture after it looked good, like after like 10 seconds of the weird fake stuff.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, we're living in these days.
That's crazy world, man. Without a doubt.
I mean,
I
I
wanted to
got,
give
I got, huh?
I was going to give a shout out to some local companies around here in Florida to catch your independent action, guys. And actually, in the future, I'm going to have it streaming on the bottom of the screen, dates and shows you can see. We'll probably more or less we'll stick with Mike's area, Virginia. We'll get some Carolina shows up on here, and if you want your indie on here to be talked about and coming across the screen with your dates, let us know. We'll add you to the list. But you got it's called Atomic Legacy Wrestling. They're going to be December the 27th. Reindeer Games over in, I believe it's, Cocoa, Florida, the Space Coast Convention Center. And they're going to have ICP there, man. And then Kerry Morton, Too Tough Tony of JCW, a couple others, and a bunch of indie talent that you might want to check out. And then you got CCW, which is Coastal Championship Wrestling, running Tampa, Kissimmee, Miami, and they're all over the state. Really good outfit, really good promotion, and really good talent. I got more. I just can't think of them, but I just want to give a shout out to the ones I can't think of right now since we're on here, and just go check out a good independent show. I know Pure Pro Wrestling's next show, and your area, Mike, will be in North Carolina. I believe it's North Carolina, December the 6th. I think it's Yanceyville, or is it Ridgeway? I can't remember.
I'm not 100%, but I think it's Richwood.
Okay, so that's in Virginia still. Okay. Yeah, and then another promotion in Virginia, guys, you should check out Mid-Atlantic Territory Wrestling. I did work for them as well when I lived up there. Really good old school promotion. They are on Right Now TV on the Roku network is a Roku channel called Right Now TV. They're based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and you can watch them every week for 1 hour, Mid-Atlantic Territory Wrestling. So remember that as well. So Mike, this is our first one and live and in living color, and I'm glad to be here. And just all you guys watching, continue to watch it on YouTube. We will have it streaming back out to our normal areas for audio on the Spotify and all them. I'm trying to think of them: Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Pandora. They're all going to be back on there, just audio. We're going to have this video format on YouTube, and I got several other streaming services that are going to be added within the next week, so you can watch them there as well. So it's going to start growing a little more and having more options to watch and not just listen. And it's something we've talked about for a while, and we finally pushed the button on it and said it had to happen. And here we are. And I look forward to this podcast growing from week to week and month to month and year to year, and keep it going on down the road. We are bringing guests in. I'm working on that right now. You will see more on this screen than just me and Mike. And we'll interview them, and we will ask them questions if you send them in. So as soon as you find out who our guests are, start sending your questions, and we will get them answered for you at our best way possible. So, Mike, you got anything for us before we jump off here today?
Yeah, I got a question. What is the difference between, I know, like the basics. What's the difference between a senior official and then a regular official? And did the senior ones get paid more? If they bring in a whole new set of officials
Yeah.
on
So
the same day, and they all work the same amount of time, who becomes the senior official?
So in the pro wrestling business, the senior official a lot of times, guys like Earl Hebner that's been around a while, and they're your senior official. They're probably going to make a little more money than you, right? But that was TNA though. Now WWE, I don't know how theirs works because I was in developmental only. I never hit the road with it. I've heard good stories about their pays, but I hear that it's fair across the board if you're traveling, right? Now WCW, when I went in, I went straight in making the same amount of money as any of the referees on the roster. And we're talking about, at this time, you had like Charles Robinson, the Billy Silvermans, Mickey J. I'm trying to think of everybody. Slick Johnson, they've been there for Slick was there for a couple of years maybe. But Billy Silverman's been around for, early mid 80s, and I met him in WCW, and we became good friends. And he worked WWF and the old Savoldi territory up in Maine and all that. But no, to my understanding, I came into a good time and came into a good time to make some money. And and I've talked about this before. When I went in, I was making the same amount of money as anybody else was. And I didn't know that. I found out later I was. I'm just saying. And then I had rental cars, hotels covered. And when some of the boys found out about that wasn't getting that covered, I got a little heat at first. But I did. I mean, my first week at TV, I did my house shows in Fayetteville and Charlotte. Went to TV on Monday. It was in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And then Tuesday was Winston-Salem. And both my days at TV, even though I was local, I could have drove back to Charlotte every day. I had hotels paid for at TV. Now, later on, we all got our hotels paid for at TV because they started giving everybody the same thing. But I went in, I had that. Here's the kicker that really got the most heat. House show loops. I had my cars paid for on the house show loops. No one else was. I had some of the younger guys that didn't have that covered, the expenses. They would jump in with me. The Jimmy Yangs and the Jamie Nobles and guys like that would catch a ride and they'd save a lot of money. He's a skipper, but I didn't care. Jump in. This lets you save some money, right? But Basically, what I'm trying to get to in a nutshell is the senior official more or less is a title given to you when you've been around a while and you know your craft, and they look at you at a hierarchy over maybe a young guy, right? So that's basically what it is. It ain't really got to do with money at the end of the day. It's got more to do with respect, and you'll get more than main event matches or more of the high profile matches or something they need a good ref in, even if it ain't a main event, something they need a spot or something that they need you for. They're going to put you there because they respect you and they know you'll get the job done. So more or less that, I would guess.
So if you stayed at TNA to this day, you'll probably be the senior official.
I would hope so.
I mean, I think I saw the it was I forgot who it was. It's the guy in TNA that's the senior official, and he definitely is no Earl Hebner.
Okay. Is he
like
dark haired guy?
no, he's the one that wears like one long black sleeve, and then
Yeah.
yeah, he
I'm pretty sure it's because of tattoos on the arm.
I mean that's cool, but
It depends on how you look
at
at it.
at least wear two sleeves. The senior official should have, like you said, should have respect and stuff. Cover up. I mean, do both sleeves. Make it look like something.
I don't even know his name right off.
It always looks like the Zack Ryder's old wrestling trunks where he had like one long leg and then one short one. That's what his shirt looks like.
Okay, Mike. Damn it,
So,
Mike. Really?
no, seriously. Like back in the day when that, but no, I mean, to me, like if I look at all the officials from TNA right now, I think they got four.
Yeah.
Like I just would not look at them like, hey, that's the senior official. You know,
Gotcha.
like it just, I don't know, it just, I don't know, it just threw me off. And then when I found out it was him, that's the senior official, I was like, why? Like, how could you get that title? Okay, can I go there and get the title?
There you go. So I am going to leave the podcast today, Mike, with this. And this is to everybody out there that is Major League Wrestling, right? And I'm not talking about just the company Major League Wrestling. I'm still in the chopping block, guys. Bring me in. Jamie Tucker's ready to go. I think I have a lot more to offer to your major companies. I'm ready to give another shot back on the big scene. So whether you're the WWE, the AEW, TNA, MLW, JCW, whoever, the NWA, I am here and I'm ready to go. And I think with my experience and expertise on the business, if you will, and I've had some hard times, baby, but I'm good. I'm still rolling. That's for my boy Dusty. But not a very good impression. But yeah, I'm just letting it known that yeah, email me right there, guys. WWE officials, AEW, TNA, NWA, MLW, JCW, do it all, right there. Also, all kidding aside, though, guys, you can reach me at that email for comments and questions, but you also can reach me for bookings and signings as well. Independent promoters, all kidding aside, send that in, and then we can get something rolling. So, Mike, I think it's been a good first broadcast, and it hits tonight on Friday, Black Friday. And let's see the date. I don't even know the date. It's November the 28th, 2025. We are now live and in living color for the first time, the podcast, in over a year. It's big news, but it's not fake news.
It's not.
Well, with that, you got anything else to leave us with? Or are we going to jet on out of here?
Just go to Cowboy Revolution.
That's right.
Use our promo code JVT123 and save 15%.
That's right. And one last time, we'll pop that on the screen there, like Mike said. Also, it says, what's it say? Watch on YouTube. We're talking about the podcast. We'll tell your friends, watch on YouTube. We'll give you the rest of them in the next couple of weeks where you can watch it. Also, like Mike said, it says it clears down the screen. Go to cowboyrevolution.com at checkout. Use code JamieT123 for 15% at your checkout. With all that being said, I'm looking forward to the next one. We'll see you next week. It's a weekly thing, guys. We promise you that. We'll see you. Send in your questions. Let's answer some stuff next week. Send in who you'd like to have as a guest on our show. We can try to get them for you. Let us know.
That's for sure.
Hey, never know, bro.
The Good Brothers.
David Arquette.
David Arquette.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon. We can get some good stories.
That'd be a showstopper right there. We can actually ask if he actually pooped on the girl.
Yeah, and then let's get Bret Hart on here.
That's right. Oh man, that's once in a lifetime. We gotta get Bret Hart. This is no joke. If we ever had Bret Hart and Jerry the King Lawler on this show, it'd be the do-all of end-all.
Jerry the King, I'll be okay with. Bret, come on. What
about the Nature Boy?
What was it? I mean, that'd be better than Bret.
What about this one? What if we pull out some old stuff out of the hat? What if Nature Boy's son, David Flair, could come on here, guys? Talk about WCW and how he talk about the whole story about how he got in. I think that'd be a really cool story.
Let's just get Conrad on here. He's on every other podcast anyway.
Yeah, let's have Conrad. What the hell? I'm gonna call Conrad later.
Why not?
Let me email him.
I don't know, but save with Conrad is whatever that is. I think it's insurance or credit cards or something.
Mortgage, something. Yeah.
So don't save with Conrad. Save 15% at Cowboy Revolution. Use promo code JamieT123.
That's right.
That's a whole lot better than stay with Conrad, because unlike them, we support the veterans.
That's right, 100%.
Conrad, I'm sorry, I don't know you. All I know is you're like Ric Flair's son-in-law or something. I don't know.
That's true, he is.
But either way, save JamieT123, 15% off Cowboy Revolution.
Awesome. Well, hey guys, we're gonna leave you out with a little something to remember us by, but we'll see you next week. Peace.
Bye, everybody.
Mr. 2020 and the Golden One dropping wrestling talk. Wrestling adventure storytelling, no fake news here. Yo, Mr. 2020 and the Golden One dropping wrestling talk.